East of Warsaw. Black screen. Sounds of the forest, wind, trees rustling, the hoot of an owl, heavy rain, and sleet. A loud beating heart.
We have lived in numberless towns and villages. In too many of them we have endured cruel suffering. Some we have forgotten. Others are sealed in our memory. A wound that does not heal. We value those men and women who have had the courage to stand outside the mob, to serve us, and to suffer with us. May such times never come again.
Fade in. Exterior, a dark clearing in a forest. Night. Clouds passing before the moon cast eerie shadows on the ground. The global view of the area is devoid of animals. Nothing moves. A deep trench that stretches 50 feet is filled with indistinct shapes. As the focus clears, it becomes evident the trench is filled with army uniforms. The final close-up view shows that the uniforms are filled with broken bodies. Interior, inside an army barracks. Night. The large room is illuminated only by moonlight. Men are sleeping on their bunk beds. Squeals and squeaks pierce the silence as the men toss and turn. Joseph Mathisson, a 23-year-old Polish soldier whose astonishing blue eyes do not fit his heritage, is sound asleep on his back on a top bunk. Janek, 25, is lying on the bottom bunk, staring upward.
Psst. Psst, Joseph.
Janek pokes the underside of the top bunk.
Joseph.
Joseph leans over the side of his mattress to look at Janek.
What do you want? I was almost dreaming.
She's going to leave me, Joseph. I know it.
What? You got a letter and didn't tell me?
No, I haven't gotten a letter in weeks.
You know the mail has been extra slow lately. Just go to bed.
She's going to be with the new guy down the street, her friend's brother.
Did she say that? No. Stop worrying. She loves you, Janek. I can still smell the perfume from her letters in your locker. You need to go to sleep.
You both need to shut the hell up.
Night, Janek. Now let me get back to my dream.
Super, September 2nd, 1939. Exterior, at the trench, night. The rain is falling on the pile in the trench. A large drop of water hangs precariously, finally getting large enough to drop. It falls slowly, landing right on the eye of a buried man. The eye pops open and blinks several times.
I can't breathe.
Joseph tries to turn his head left, then right, but can't move.
What the?
Joseph attempts to move his right arm, but it is trapped. The left won't move either. The best he can do is wiggle toes on his left foot. Otherwise, he is paralyzed.
Mueller?
A Eurasian wolf sits on a hilltop, silhouetted against the moon. The wolf cries a plaintive howl. Fade to black. Super, 1 day earlier. Exterior, outside a Polish army barracks. Night. Sentry number 1 sits on the top step. He licks the seam of his hand-rolled cigarette. Sentry number 2 comes around the corner and sees him.
What the hell?
Relax. You want a cigarette?
Just where did you plan to smoke that this time of night?
Right here.
Sentry number 1 strikes a match on the cement step, lights the cigarette, and takes a deep drag.
Put that out, idiot. You'll get us all killed.
There's no one out there. It's just a scare tactic.
I said put it out.
Okay. Just one more drag.
Sentry number 1 fills his lungs with smoke, then throws the cigarette to the ground. Sparks go flying. Interior, inside the barracks. Night. Sparks fly as a soldier stirs the embers of the potbelly stove. He quietly closes the stove door. The camera pulls back to reveal many soldiers sleeping on their bunks. A loud screeching sound penetrates the silence. Joseph sits up straight.
Bomb!
A huge explosion rocks the room. Men begin screaming and scrambling about, dizzy from sleep. The concussion wave blasts shards of glass into the room. Exterior, outside the barracks. Night. The 2 sentries lie dead on the steps. The sky is now lit up as if it was midday. Light from continuing explosions gets brighter every second. The voice of Commander Bukowski yelling into a portable bullhorn rises above the ruckus.
We're under attack. Secure your positions. Man your weapons.
Joseph exits the barracks through a blown-out window and runs to the large Bofors 37mm anti-tank gun. Exterior, at the Bofors gun. Night. Joseph sits in the gunner's perch. The barrel swings skyward, revealing the silhouettes of hundreds of bombers. The roar of the engines is louder than thunder. Arc lights illuminate a wall of dust about half a mile from the camp. A line of tanks emerges from the cloud.
I'm set.
Janek, a 25-year-old Polish soldier, stands behind the big gun and shouts coordinates.
Range 450 meters. 265 degrees west, 40 degrees elevation. Fire!
Janek spots the impact through binoculars.
15 down, 5 right.
Ready.
Fire!
A tank in the distance explodes.
Yes, load another one.
Bombs begin to explode all around the camp. Barracks are blown apart. Several anti-tank guns are hit and upended. Bodies go flying in the air. The latest shockwave knocks the entire crew to the ground. Dust obscures everyone's view. An opening in the cloud appears. A line of tanks moves towards the encampment, followed by many rows of German troops.
There are men hiding behind those tanks.
A Polish staff car drives onto the battlefield. A soldier frantically waves a white flag on a long pole.
Bullshit!
The tank commander is standing up through the top opening. He is a 50-ish gray-haired man, bedecked in a battle uniform.
Throw down your weapons. Your generals have surrendered. Put down your weapons now and raise your hands.
Screw you.
A volley of gunshots from behind the Polish soldiers breaks the silence. The tank commander slumps over the opening, shot in the chest. Germans immediately open fire. The tanks move forward.
Retreat, men.
Joseph and the gun crew run towards the woods behind the camp. A line of half-tracks reaches the middle of the battlefield and triggers buried Polish mines. Trucks go flying.
Those were ours.
The men cheer as the sound of pop, pop, pop urges the troop to seek cover. Exterior, the edge of the forest, night. Joseph and the crew almost reach the line of trees when a German unit emerges from the cover of the forest, weapons trained on the poles. Sergeant Schmitz yells while motioning upward with his weapon.
Hande ho! Hande ho!
The crew all drop their weapons and raise their hands high.
Auf Arin kein Jets!
The men all drop to their knees. Exterior, Main Street in the town of Reykjavik. Day. Super, 2 years earlier. The street is filled with the hustle and bustle of everyday life in Reykjavik. The young man, age 19, is riding a bike down the main street. He is wearing a plain blue uniform. There's a basket on the front of the bike and a leather saddlebag behind the seat.
Barak Esa Adone Hamavak.
Interior, the synagogue. Day. Inside the synagogue, Rabbi Rosenfeld, age 55, and dressed in traditional Orthodox Jewish clothing, is standing at a table, the open Torah scroll lying in front of him. 3 men stand at the sides of the table. 8 others are spread around the shul.
Baruch Adonai Hamarak Olam Vede.
Barak Anadad Hamavak Laom Vede. Barak Ata Adone Alamon Malak Halom. Asher Barak Baranu Mekol Elaman. Venosen Lorano Es Taraso. Barak Ate Adone Nosan Ha Torah.
Using the pointer as a guide, Rabbi Rosenfeld begins chanting the Torah portion. The sound of his chanting fades. Exterior, Main Street in Reykjavik. Day. Music in. My Chatele bells. Credits in. A group of children are running after the bike, trying to keep pace. The bike passes several homes where people are standing on the sidewalk. Mothers are holding children, others rocking carriages. Across the street, the butcher is placing cuts of meat on trays in his display window. Children are outside the bakery looking through the window at the cakes on display. The reflection of the bike and rider flashes across the window, causing the children to turn and wave. Half a block later, the bike passes City Hall. A young woman emerges from the front door holding several file folders in her arms. She awkwardly waves to the bike rider. Several men are climbing the steps to enter the building. Children are kicking a soccer ball back and forth. The bike rider reaches into the front basket and then throws some small wrapped candies to the kids who scramble to pick up the pieces from the sidewalk. As the rider passes the fruit stand, the proprietor tosses an apple to him, which he catches with his left hand. He never loses his pace as he gives a friendly thank you salute. In front of another store, furniture is being set out on the sidewalk with sale signs shoving from the tables and chairs. A horse-drawn cart moves slowly along the road. The cart is overflowing with rolls of fabric. At the far end of the street, the bike rider reaches the outside of a large factory. He removes a large envelope from the saddlebag and then approaches the front door. Music out. Super, September 1st, 1939. Exterior, 50 yards inside the tree line, day. The Polish soldiers are digging with shovels.
Make sure it's 2 meters deep. Hurry. Silence.
Exterior, at the trench, dusk. The Polish soldiers are kneeling on the ground, hands behind their heads. A German staff car pulls up. Sergeant Schmidt jumps to attention and salutes. The man is wearing black tunic, bowler hat, and gloves. Marshal's pips are on his shoulders. The shine of his cowboy boots reflects the afternoon sunlight. Friedrich Mueller is a fastidious man. He slowly approaches his troops.
Line them up. You've practiced this. Quickly.
The troops separate the men into groups of 3 and form 2 rows, one behind the other. Their hands are tied behind their backs. Joseph's group is in the middle of the front row.
Face front. Nobody move.
Sergeant Schmidt points to the crisply dressed corporal. He steps forward and places the barrel of his pistol against the head of the Polish soldier in front of him.
Fire.
A shot rings out. The Polish soldier falls forward into the pit. The back of his head has a gaping hole with smoke billowing out. The corporal executes a 90-degree turn to the right, takes 2 steps, raises his arm, and waits for the command.
Fire.
Janek, standing next to Joseph, whispers.
Joseph, my God.
Shema Yisroel Hedone Eloheinu Hedone Yikat.
Fire.
The last man from Group 1 falls. Joseph's group is next. Janek tries to touch Joseph but can't reach him. The soldier to Janek's left is shot and plunges into the pit. Janek stiffens. He knows he is next. For 3 seconds, nothing happens. Mueller steps forward, holding up his hand. To stop the next shot, he stares at Janek's boots.
What is this?
Mueller reaches down and extracts an ornate dagger. Rows of precious stones cover the handle. The silver sheath is decorated with elaborate engraving. Mueller slowly removes the knife from the sheath.
I asked you. What is this?
Janek looks at the ground and remains silent.
Answer me, swine.
Janek answers in a whisper.
Family heirloom.
It must have taken years of working in the fields to earn the money for this.
It's my grandfather's. He had royal blood.
Mueller grins and spreads his arms, turns around slowly as he addresses his troops.
What an honor, men. We have royalty with us. We must show him proper respect.
Mueller turns back to face Janek and bows comically, laughing at a high pitch. He steps up close to Janek from behind and leans into his left ear.
Are you lying?
No,
You were planning to attack me. Instead of sleeping in my warm bed, I'm stuck here with you. What a waste.
Mueller's lips are almost touching Janek's ear.
Do you want your knife back, perhaps?
Janek slowly nods his head yes.
Well, let me return it to its rightful owner. Unharmed.
Mueller plunges the knife deep into his back. Janek takes a short breath, his mouth wide, open. A torrent of blood spills over his bottom lip. Mueller yanks the knife out and lets Janek go. Janek turns towards Joseph, starts to jerk, and falls backward into the pit. He lies perfectly still. Joseph's eyes fill with tears as he clenches his fists. Mueller turns to Joseph.
How does that make you feel? Thirsty for revenge, perhaps?
Mueller grabs Joseph by the shoulder and spins him around. Joseph stares defiantly.
What? Blue eyes? You're not like the others, eh? Angry and determined. Why aren't you afraid of me? Don't you know who I am?
Mueller appears almost spooked. No one ever defies him. He grabs Joseph again, turns him around, and cuts the rope binding his hands.
No, and I don't care.
I am Hitler's procure general, handpicked, in charge of all Poland now.
So?
Go ahead. Take the first shot. Attack me. I dare you.
Joseph remains unmoving, eyes front.
Ha. I thought so. Just another coward in a hero's uniform.
Mueller spins Joseph to face him again. Joseph looks left and right and sees no other soldiers approaching. He rubs his wrist. The bronze name tag Mueller sparkles in the light. Joseph barely utters a whisper.
Mueller.
What was that? Speak up. Louder. Louder.
A real man would never stab a soldier in the back. He would face his enemy in a fair fight. You're not a man, not even a spoiled child. Just pathetic.
Mueller slaps Joseph's left cheek with the back of his hand. Joseph is stoic. Mueller leans in close to Joseph, takes the blade of the knife, and wipes it on Joseph's coat. He then sticks the point into the flesh under Joseph's chin, drawing a small trickle of blood. Mueller puts his lips next to Joseph's ear and hisses.
It's a shame you and I are enemies. Your kind of bravery is rare. I've seen men piss themselves for less, and yet you stick to your arrogance.
I'm not afraid of you.
My point exactly. You should be.
Mueller turns to the corporal, makes his hand into a pistol, and mimes firing. He lights a cigarette while the corporal takes his position.
Kill him.
The corporal steps forward, pistol pointed right at Joseph's head. As he squeezes the trigger, Joseph raises his arm to block the shot, causing his head to move. The sound of the explosion is deafening. Joseph falls backward into the pit. Mueller takes a long drag on the cigarette and then flicks it into the pit, where it lands on Joseph's face. The sound of a zipper opening precedes a stream of yellow liquid hitting Joseph's face, snuffing out the cigarette. A last wisp of smoke rises.
Ah, what a relief.
Mueller walks to his car.
Sergeant, finish this.
Mueller walks to his car, caresses the wolf hood ornament, and enters. His German Shepherd Rex rises from the seat to greet him. Mueller leans to the dog's neck and nuzzles him.
Good dog. Good dog, Rex. You make me very proud every day.
Gunshots echo out.